if you think that the demons from Frieren are evil, pure evil, and that was what they were written, you probably don't understand the demons from Frieren. In that same respect, if you think that they are flawed characters or that they should just coexist, you also don't actually understand the demons of Frieren. See, and I'll be honest, this is actually attested with how well they're written, because I think everybody's getting this wrong. I've seen a lot of videos that talk about, like, I guess was a consistent thing that's been going on, where people are, I guess, trying to humanize or say that Frieren maybe have been wrong for how she deals with demons. And I think both sides fundamentally misunderstand what the purpose of demons are in the series. See, the thing about demons is that demons are neither like fallen, flawed characters, nor are they pure evil, because fundamentally demons aren't people. See, I think, and this is kind of where it gets even us, not just the humans in the series, but what happens when it comes to how we view demons is that we're viewing them as characters who commit acts, right? They lie, they steal, they kill, they eat other people. And because of that, we have this idea that they are on some level the same as how we would see Himmel, Frieren, Fern, Ubel, or Seri. But they're not. It's explained very specifically, and it's always repeated by Frieren, that these are beasts, as in they're animals. They are no different from the dragons or the flying monsters of the series, with one exception, is that they have hyper-intelligence. They have such an advanced intelligence that they're able to mimic and communicate with humans enough to, again, trick. That's the whole point. The whole point of demons is that they'll trick you. But they're not tricking you because they're evil. They're tricking you for the same reason that different animals can mimic other things. It's a form of mimicry. Demons are just apex predators. We're seeing them the way we would see a serial killer or a pedophile or a mass murderer, rapist, genocide, or terrorist. That's how we're viewing them. And most of, I think, the critiques about demons or the analysis on what demons symbolize often, in my opinion, are a representation of how we fundamentally misunderstand demons, because a lot of people will either, depending on their politics, see them as capitalists or politicians, or some even say immigrants. But this implies that they're people with motives that are what people will consider wrong. So if you find capitalists to be inherently evil and a problem, then you will see demons as capitalists. If you find politicians as morally corrupt, then you will project it onto demons. If you find immigrants as whatever you find racistly about immigrants, you project that onto demons. And all of these are fundamentally incorrect, because demons aren't people. A good example of this is Ubel. Ubel is a perfect example of an actual evil character within Frieren. See, Frieren as a whole isn't about good or evil. It's a lot more intimate. But the society from which Frieren exists in doesn't really punish evil and reward good. It mainly maintains power and order. See, the Demon King had to be defeated because he destroyed the natural order. He was trying to upset the natural order, which was all the different races existing and the monsters existing outside of those societies. And with his attempt of the genocide of the elves and the continual encroachment on other human lands, that was a problem. But it had nothing to do with the kings or the nobles being necessarily good. We know this to be true in Frieren. It's not really a thing. But that, demons destroying, pillaging, and eating you destroys the actual natural order, which is why the heroes of old and of many centuries had tried to ban, in at least for 1,000 years, to be the Demon King, and finally within the Frieren's hero party. But that's it. It's a technicality. It's based on pure logic. Frieren is the only one, I think, out of most anybody, even people watching, who actually understands demons. That next to maybe Flam, and that is that demons are an infestation. They are a species that went out of their natural ecosystem and then evolved to where there's no more balance. This happens all the time. Whenever you take a species outside of its natural ecosystem where there's natural predators, they become an invasive species. That's what demons are. That's what happened. They evolved to hide, to where now humans have to take an active engagement, to where they don't really necessarily have to do it with other monsters because they're not as intelligent and they're not as crafty. They may have magic and powers, but most of them are solitary. Most of them live outside of things, and unless you're in their territory, most people can be fine without warring with demons, but that's not the case for demons. That's the problem of demons. And when you can actually look at them as a lion or an orca whale or a polar bear, then you kind of understand exactly how Frieren sees them and exactly why they're such a problem, because they are that level of danger with the sophistications of manipulating the one per thing, and that is human emotion. And that's actually why they're so good. It's not necessarily because they trick people into being empathetic necessarily, but that they're able to play on human emotions because they themselves don't have that. They don't have that developed. They just have the advanced intelligence of speech and language, but nothing else. So when humans get emotional, even the humans in Frieren feel like they're people. So they're people whom do bad and should be punished, or maybe they're people who deserve mercy. And Frieren's trying to make people understand this is not the case. They are just beasts. They're just predators. They're just apex predators whom you kill on sight, or you get away from them. You don't engage with them in some sort of human way, because you are automatically going to lose, because you are coming in with emotion. Going back to Ubel, the funny thing about Ubel is almost like a human version of a demon. She's a killer. She's a straight up serial killer. She likes to kill. And the only reason she isn't necessarily a mass murderer from a standpoint of being a problem is that she plays by the laws of society. The laws of society don't really punish you for being a killer as long as you're killing the right people. So she takes on bandits, she'll fight in competition, and with maybe the accidental killing, she doesn't do what she knows will get her in trouble. But everything she does is for the sake of killing, understand that. Even her desire for empathy, which she's able to do, it's a specifically strategic goal of taking someone else's ability because she's able to empathize with them. But yeah, I think when you understand and you can see demons as apex predators, as invasive species, and not as either a flawed human or a bad person, you'll start to actually understand what purpose demons actually serve for the narrative.